Well, everybody was shell-shocked. The fans were stunned. It was the worst ever performance in recent memory, on a day when they needed a big performance, and arguably not that big a performance. They were playing a team, down the bottom end of the Premier League, in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, the sort of home draw that everybody would have wanted. And they froze. It was unfathomable. And, OK, 3 goals, 3 very good goals in quick succession, did stun Everton, and they would have stunned any team. But I'm afraid there was no response even after that, a brief response after half-time. But they just completely lost their way. Possibly the manager, he's admitted himself that maybe he was to blame for part of it. Certainly his players were, that's for sure. But maybe he got it wrong in playing Phil Nebson ahead of Darren Gibson. Gibson's been a good player for Everton this season, and I think it might have been a different story with him out there. Hindsight's easy, I know. But I think more than anything, you have to feel so sorry and angry for the fans, to be honest. It was a disgraceful performance, frankly, and they were very, very badly let down by the football club that they love and by players that they support and they worship. Everton should have been at Wembley with every chance of getting to Wembley a second time. We've seen that the draw would have purred them against Blackburn or Millwall, but it's Wigan who deservedly go through. They did play well on the day, in fairness to them. No one's saying that Wigan were a pushover, but Everton were capable of so much better than that, and they just didn't turn up on the day. No heart, no fight, no cohesion. And to see Marouane Fellaini in the second half effectively stop playing football for a brief period of time just before he was hauled off, well, that was frankly shameful. The one thing you do when you pull on that blue shirt is you give everything for the badge and everything for the club. And there's an awful lot of players, I'm afraid, in that team who can look in the mirror and ask themselves a question, and if they're honest with themselves, they won't like the answer to it. The supporters were very, very badly let down, and they're hurting, and it's wrong. Everton were capable of beating Wigan. The Everton we know were capable of beating Wigan, but the Everton that we know and that we've seen under David Moyes just went missing.
Just a quick word about David Moyes. Obviously, he's still not got pen to paper on a new contract. Many were saying this could be the season where he brings a trophy to Ministry Partners, the final farewell. Is that in disarray now, his position?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. You've got to credit David Moyes. He's been the best value-added manager in the Premier League for a long, long time. Some fans feel that he doesn't get it right when the big stage comes along, when the big moments are there. But he can only push his players over that white line and prepare them. And he felt and he said he prepared them, as well as he possibly could in a routine fashion for a big game like this. Just a week earlier, when he still hadn't signed his contract, Everton beat Reading fairly comfortably. Whatever the background, and it isn't helpful. It isn't helpful to have a manager of David Moyes' stature still not having had a new contract either put in front of him or not having signed it if he has. But certainly the players that David Moyes did push over that white line on Saturday afternoon against Wigan were capable of far better than that. In fact, I don't think anyone believed they were capable of playing that poorly. So it is an issue, it's a worrying issue, but it can't be used as an excuse today. Everton's players and their manager have got to look themselves in the face and ask themselves, where did they go wrong? As I say, though, it's the fans who are hurting, and it's the fans that certainly I feel sorry for today. They were very, very badly let down.